Hello and welcome to this new video. This is the first race from round 5 of the Fel Race Touring Car Championship. I qualified P11 here. I'm going to get a pretty decent start, of course, apart from the BMWs, because they're just the best at starting, full stop. So into turn 1, it's a very tight hairpin. It causes a lot of carnage often, and actually this time we've managed to get through it quite nicely. I was in second, so too high of a gear, so I don't really get the exit that I want. So I stay in P12 for now, lost 1 position, but I still have a lot of time to make up that position again. So into this part of the Mercedes arena, we're all going 2-3 wide, somehow making it work just about here. Ash and Hordes are going to collide, so I had to go out wide to avoid those guys. Going to try and rejoin the track here, just about squeeze my way back on. They're going 3 wide into this next SRs, is going 2 wide with me. We make a bit of contact. Those guys up ahead, they somehow made 3 wide work, but in the end Ash comes out on top and manages to take both of those positions. So it's a pretty hectic start, but it looks like for the most part it's actually stayed clean. So now into the hairpin here. I'm not gonna go for a move on Alan. No, we're close enough. Zars is just about gonna have a look up the inside. Not quite gonna be able to make that work though. So now we're on the run up to the Michael Schumacher S, a critical corner to get a good lap around this track here. I'm going to get a decent run. My philosophy here was pretty much always slow in, fast out. That gave me a good exit onto this straight up the hill. Now into this next S, there's going to be a pretty big crash, and I'm just about going to survive that. So gain like 5 positions or something, so up into P7, so that's gone really well. Up ahead, someone has been in the gravel trap and collided with Integra. So that's 2 more free positions, so up into P5. So suddenly my luck just turned, and a lot of people had incidents which gave me free positions. So now into the chicane here, gonna manage to navigate that all right there. Zars is still close behind, so he's also managed to make his way through all of that carnage as well into the final corner. He's gonna try and go up my inside here. I'm gonna hold it all the way around the outside, just about keep my car somewhat alongside. As we come onto the straight, look at that, there's my straight line speed. That's that low aero setup that I've got, so my gearing seems to be alright as well. So lap 1 has been pretty damn good. Coming into the hairpin now on the beginning of lap 2, gonna hook up with a very nice apex and hold on to P5 for now. Now moving on a bit later on lap 2 into the hairpin here, Jem is going to go for a move out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that at all. I was just going about my business trying to hook up with a late apex, and boom, there's the yellow Mercedes down my inside. But he's managed to get past me, at least for now. So I'm going to try and make my way through these S's very nicely. His line has not been very good, so as you can see I have a good run onto the straight, and that's why I was taking that slower line in to get the better run out. And I'm going to brake around the outside here, just about going to make it work, just within the white lines as well. So that was a very nice overtake, and he's not going to be able to cut back for this part, but I'm on the curb, which is going to slow down my exit a bit. And those Mercedes, they are quite good in a straight line. Jem also running low aero, so he's going to have some good speed here. So we're going side by side, wheel to wheel at 130 plus miles an hour into the chicane. He's just ever so slightly ahead, and I'm not going to force the point here. He has the better line out of the chicane and boxes me in on the exit, so he takes my 5th place. Now onto the Schumacher S on lap 3. Jem got past Glisker, and I'm catching up to him as well, getting a decent run out of that S there on this straight coming into this next S. So I'm going to try and go down Glisker's inside, just kept my nose there. Might have not been the best decision by me, so now baseline is going to just about manage to get past me as I go wide as well, so he takes my position. Integra is closing up as well, but he's not quite past just yet. So now on to lap 5, I had a bit of an incident and lost 2 positions to Integra and Zars, but I managed to catch back up to Zars here. Going to go down his inside turn 1, but he did manage to get the better exit. But into this first Mercedes arena section, he's out a bit wide here, so I'm going to be able to line myself up to go down the inside into this part here. Going to try and force him out wide. I'm going to have the preferred cutback line for this next corner, but he's just about going to be able to fend me off, at least through that point. But just a bit later, into the Schumacher S here. He's going to take the wrong line, clip the sand on the inside. We're just going to slow him down here on this little straight coming into this S here. Now I'm on his outside, not the preferred line, but he's not really going to be able to capitalize on that, so I'm going to get right back up the inside and manage to take his position here. So I'm up into P7 now. Now, I was setting some pretty decent lap times, and Integra and Glisker were having an absolute dogfight. They even make a bit of contact here, which allows me and Zars to catch back up, and it looks like it's going to be 3 wide through the final turn. We somehow make it. I was very scared that I'd be forced into the gravel trap on the outside, but I did manage to survive. I did also manage to hold off Zars, so I'm still in P7, but Zars is now a lot closer. I did pull a bit of a gap on him because I had a decent lap or two. And into turn 1, Integra and Glisker, they're going to go at it again. Zars is going to capitalize on me not really knowing where to go, so he's going to go at my inside and take P7. But into the Mercedes arena now, I just see a tiny gap there, which I'm going to go for, and I'm going to take his position into this next part here. I'm going to brake a bit too late, so Zars is going to get the cut back here. I'm on a very compromised line for this section, so Zars is going to take my position once and for all for P7. Now a bit later into the Schumacher S, once again a critical point on this lap. Zars is going to go early again, hit the gravel trap once more, so that's going to slow him down on this straight again. So it's pretty much a deja vu of what happened a couple laps ago, but I'm going to brake just a bit too late, be sort of on that AstroTurf on the outside, so I'm not going to get the best of runs here. It's a similar situation to before, but Zars, he's just about going to manage to squeeze me just ever so slightly that I get on the curb and don't get the best of exits. So yeah, that was the final move. After that, Zars did pull a bit of a gap and held on to P7, but I'm still happy with P8 after starting P11. It was a very fun race, had a good battle with Zars and a couple of other guys as well. I think if I had avoided some incidents here and there, maybe been a bit more decisive with some of my moves, I could have maybe placed 1-2 positions higher, but yeah, fun race. So let's move on to the second one. For the second race, it's a random grid. We had one aborted race because of some big crashes, but as you can see, I've started on pole and I'm going to get an absolutely lightning start here. So pulling a 60 feet gap into turn 1, so I'm well clear of any dive bombs, or so I think, because boom, there's me sort of half spun off, so I lose 3 positions. So I was kind of salty about that. Into the Mercedes arena, however, JM, he's gonna get sideways and just a bit of a bump and boom, he's just dead. Like, I don't know what it is about the BMWs. It was not only this round, all the other rounds, as soon as you touch them, like, the cars just die in a violent death, which is super annoying. So baseline, it's not going to give me much space on the exit of the Mercedes arena, so I have to take to the runoff. Integra is closing up as well into this first S, so he's going to go down my inside, just going to go off the curb, so a bit of contact. But into this second part here, he's going to have the better line, maybe apex a bit earlier, so that's why he hit me, but then his speed is going to carry him out, and Muri is catching up as well, trying to go around my outside into this hairpin here. Braking for the hairpin now. Didn't really leave him enough space on the outside, so a bit of contact. I'm kind of squeezed on the apex there, but Ash, thankfully, he's going to give me a speed boost to just about be able to keep it alongside with Muri coming into the Schumacher S. This is going to be very scary side by side. I couldn't quite put my car there because otherwise I would have spun Muri, so I had to back off there, so I'm going to lose 3 positions. So it has not gone well. Now into this S here, Ollie's going to come out of Narnia and bump me wide, so I lose more positions. Down into P12, now I'm going to tag Alan as well as I try to rejoin somehow. So things have gone from bad to worse, and I've lost a bunch of positions, so from pole to 12th because of a couple incidents. So yeah, I'm gonna have a real fight back on my hands to try and get anywhere near the top 5 or something like that. But anyway, through the chicane here, catching up to Zombie. For some reason I was in 3rd, I don't know why. I guess I might have shifted down not enough. Into the final turn, I tried making sure that Jam wouldn't go down my inside. Tiny bit of a tap, but both of us are okay. So now moving on to the start-finish straight here, you can see the Mercedes is not really gaining on me. My low aero is helping. It's really just at the end, that's where Jam makes up the time. Coming into turn 1 here, Jem is going to manage to go around my outside as I was kind of distracted by the incident with Alan and Zombie, so I'm going to make more contact with Alan. So yeah, down into P13. Swee's going to go around my outside as well, capitalizing on all of this going on, so into P14 for me, but I'm going to go down Swee's inside once again and manage to get past him for P13. Now moving on to lap 2 on the chicane here. Alan's just going to tag my rear end there, which is going to put me a bit wayward through the chicane. He's going to get the much better exit, managed to get past me. Sweet, he's going to try to go around my outside. I didn't really see that, so I almost forced him into the grass there unintentionally. But up ahead it looks like Ollie has been in the gravel trap. But on the straight, I do have the speed compared to Sweet, my low aero really helping me out there. So still in P14, I've got a group of cars in front of me fighting quite hard, so I think I can make up some time going for a huge lunge here on Ollie into turn 1. Not quite going to be able to pull it off here as my exit was a bit slow. However, just a bit later, coming into the hairpin here, I'm on Ollie's inside, so I do have the preferred line. Alan's going to go somewhat defensive, try and fend off both of us, so I'm kind of boxed in behind these guys, can't really do much here, so I'm not going to be able to make up a position. But Alan didn't get the best of exits here, so Ollie's going to just about manage to pull ahead of him before we go through this fast S here. Alan does seem to take an all-right line, not the best of runs, but I couldn't really capitalize on his mistake. But Alan is then going to do an Alan, and he's going to go for a huge lunge, which he didn't get stopped, so I'm going to manage to just about get past him. Maybe we're still side by side as he rejoins the track, but it looks like I do have the better line round the outside onto this back straight here to stay in P13 in the slipstream and with the low aero as well. I'm gaining on Ollie as we're coming into the chicane. Now he's going to go defensive. I'm going to hit my braking point quite nicely here, but Alan's not going to see his braking point, so he's going to outbrake himself and he's going to take me out there. And he apologized for it, and I think he's told me that he was fighting, so he couldn't really see his braking point. So yeah, but that's now put me down to P16. Bumpy beside me, so he demotes me down into P17 as he manages to get up my inside through the final turn there. But now we're on the start finish straight, and we seem to be pretty even in terms of straight line speed. I'm just starting to pull here at the end of 5th gear into 6th as the straight is going into turn 1 now, and I'm on Bumpy's inside. He's going to go just a bit wide, so I'm going to manage to take his position back up into P16. Now on to lap 5. I gained 1 free position because Chris and Jem, they had a bit of a coming together, so that means I'm into 15th, but Jem is still quite close behind. He recovered quite quickly there, and he's gotten the better run out of the Mercedes arena with his Mercedes straight line speed and acceleration here. He's going to pull to the outside for this S here, almost going to do it as well, go around the outside, returning the favor to what I did to him in race 1, but then he got up my inside for the next part. On lap 6 in the Mercedes arena, we had some issues with the runoff, so I'm going to go down his inside for this part here, and I'm going to set up for the mega cutback, which I don't think he was expecting, and I wasn't expecting him to be that slow on the exit, so I just ran completely into the back of him, and he lifted off and gave me the position. I'm out of guild, he didn't have to. But yeah, so I'm back into P15 now, and up ahead these guys are fighting quite hard, and Chris is pulling some sick drifts, which is going to slow him down, so that's good for me. But I've gotten a decent run here on Jam. Don't think I'm really close enough to make a move, and he's going to block that off as well. But into the hairpin, he's going to try go for a move on Stevie, and he's going to completely outbrake himself and smash Stevie into the gravel, and so he's going to capitalize on that and go down my inside as well. So he's passed into P12 now through the Schumacher S. However, he's not really going to take that good at all, so he's going to clip the gravel, which is going to slow him down massively on this straight before we go into the next S here. So I'm going to manage to brake around the outside, not quite past just yet, but I think now he's not going to be able to cut back underneath me and take my position, but he almost does, and we made a bit of contact there. So in the end, that's where I'd finish P12. This was a fun race, very much a recovery drive, and yeah, this was the final race of the season. I'll have to see where I finished in the standings. I think I did alright. I got a win, which was kind of lucky, but I'll take it anyway. and I had a lot of fun despite, you know, some issues with hosting and organizing and results and penalties and all that. And overall, it was fun taking part. I had a good time, some good racing as well. But that'll be it for this video. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, goodbye.